B Productions.
On the beat.
Hey, what's happening YouTube? This is Runner and welcome to another edition of Runner On. Today's episode is Runner On UFC 146. Junior Dos Santos versus Frank Mir for the heavyweight title in the UFC. Yeah, so first fight of the night I'm going to predict is Paul Sass versus Jacob Volkman. Jacob Volkman is a strong wrestler, very boring fighter. He's pretty much like Danny Costello, very boring. Obviously British fighters don't have a good ground game, so I'm going to give this fight to Jacob Volkman. So we've got Dan Hardy versus Dwayne Van Ludwig. Dwayne Van Ludwig, I believe, is going to retire after this fight. Dan Hardy does not know where he wants to be in the MMA fight game after suffering 3 losses or 4 losses in a row. I think the UFC are trying to throw him a bone with someone who's not highly motivated to compete anymore. So, I don't see. I'm gonna go with Dwayne Van Ludwig. No, I'm gonna go with Dan Hardy. I'm gonna go with Dan Hardy on this fight card because I think he's gonna do the business and he should get a second round TKO. Yep, so we've got Jason Mayhem Miller versus CB Dalloway. CB Dalloway is a very good fighter. He's a name that's always there or thereabouts on fight cards, but I have no idea who he is. Done a bit of research on him after I knew he was fighting Mayhem Miller, because I like Mayhem Miller. He's a really good fighter and he's very exciting. Yeah, but either way, I'm going to go with Jason Mayhem Miller. I think Mayhem Miller is an awesome fighter and he's just a really good guy. And the fight against Bisping, I think that's not how he fights. If you watch his fights in Pride and in Japan and Strikeforce, he does not fight that way. So I'm going to go with Jason Mayhem Miller via submission. Next fight of the night, we've got Edison Barbosa versus Jamie Varner. Jamie Varner used to be in the WEC, had a few losses and got kicked out, and then he had to work his way back in. I believe he's 6-1 in his last 7 fights or so to get back into the UFC. And then we've got Edison Barbosa. Edison Barbosa, probably the best highlight knockout reel against Terry Etam. That spinning wheel kick was awesome. When I seen that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, that was amazing. So anyways, we've got Jamie Varner, who better on the ground than Barbosa, because we've never seen Barbosa's ground game, even though he's a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Barbosa is the better striker by a long way. Jamie Varner is good, but I think he's going to get knocked out in this fight. I think Barbosa is going to be too strong, too powerful, too quick, too everything. But if he gets on his back, or he gets Barbosa on his back, then we'll see where the real test is for Barbosa. But I've been saying that for months and months and months of the predictions, and I think he needs a test at 155, so he needs to put him on his back and see how he fares. But anyways, I'm going to go with Edison Barbosa via second round TKO. Then we've got Lavar Johnson versus Stefan Struve. Stefan Struve was fighting Mark Hunt, but Mark Hunt got injured. I think he got a knee injury. First time in his career he's ever been injured and had to step out of a fight. Well, Lavar Johnson, very big hitter. Stefan Struve can bang, but he's better on the ground. And if Pat Barry can take Lavar Johnson down, then Stefan Struve will easily take Lavar Johnson down. This is basically who's going to pull the trigger first. Is Lavar Johnson going to knock out Stefan Struve first, or is Stefan Struve going to get the takedown and submit Lavar Johnson? Because I think Stefan Struve's slicker with his ground game, and yeah, I think he's going to get Johnson down. But the thing is, Stefan Struve likes to bang, and that's when he gets caught sometimes. He gets caught by Travis Brown, he gets caught by Royal Nelson, got caught by Junior Dos Santos, he got caught by everybody. So I'm still going to go with Stefan Struve, but he should submit him. Yeah, he should submit him. So then I'm going to go with Stefan Struve, submission. And now we've got Roy Nelson versus Dave Herman. Dave Herman, very good fighter. I think the UFC are throwing him in too deep into these fights. They threw him in against Stefan Struve. It was an evenly matched fight. He was winning the first round, then I don't know, something in the second round where he got clipped, and then Stefan Struve got the upper hand. So we've got Ron Nelson. Ron Nelson, big heavyweight. Not as in terms of size, just he's the top upper echelon of the heavyweight division. Got very heavy hands. Better fighter. Better jiu-jitsu. And I think the UFC are just trying to bounce Herman in and then bounce him straight back out again, which sometimes I don't like when they do that with fighters. Because Dave Herman, they should give him some more lesser fighters, like I can't really name off the top of my head, but should give him some lesser fighters instead of smashing him against Stefan Struve, who's top 10 possibly, Roy Nelson, who's top 7 easily. I just think it's not a good fight for Dave Herman. I think he's going to get banged out in this fight. Yeah, I'm going to go with Roy Nelson winning this fight by a TKO. So, on to the co-main event. We've got Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Bigfoot Silva is coming off a loss against Cormier. Cormier beat him in the semi-finals of the Heavyweight Grand Prix in Strikeforce. Cain Velasquez is coming off a loss against Junior Dos Santos. A lot of these fighters on this card have lost to Junior Dos Santos if you look at the heavyweight division. So he's coming off a loss against Junior Dos Santos. Me personally, people are flipping this card up in the air and seeing where it's going to land. Well, me personally, I think Cain Velasquez is going to be a lot smaller than Bigfoot Silva. Silva's got a massive chin and everything like that, but I believe that Cain Velasquez and Cormier fight at the same fight camp, aka, but I just think Cain Velasquez is just going to do what he always does, takes people to the ground, beat them up. Yeah, he's going to beat him up for however many rounds he does. Only person that's went the distance with Cain Velasquez is Czech Congo, and Czech Congo's not that great on the ground anyway. But yeah, I think this is an easy fight for Cain Velasquez. I think he's going to get him down to the ground. He's going to beat him up for 3 rounds or whatever it's going to be. He's going to get a second round TKO, because that's how I think Cain Velasquez is going to roll. He's going to roll hard. He's going to roll. He's going to have a point to prove, because he needs to get back to that title, because he lost it on basically 1 punch. And that's all it takes in the heavyweight division for someone to get knocked out. So I'm going to go with Cain Velasquez by a second round TKO.
It's time!
Yep, and now onto the main event. We've got Junior Dos Santos, the heavyweight champion, versus Frank Mir, the former interim and former heavyweight champion. Yep, so this fight card, well, not this fight card, this fight looks pretty good, but I think it's pretty easy on how it's going to go. So we've got a little bit of a grudge match here. We've got Junior Dos Santos, whose trainer, or his trainer and training partners are Big Nog. And Frank Mir is the last person to absolutely snap the shit out of fucking Nog's arm. Basically, Frank Mir, he's stepped in for Alistair Overeem, and I just think it's a bad fight for Frank Mir. To be honest, I know he's got a good ground game and all this other stuff, but he's got to get the fight to the ground. Has anybody yet seen Junior Dos Santos on his back? No. Because his boxing is far superior to everybody else, no one can even touch him. So let's see. We've got Frank Mir, decent striking, decent kicks, good on the ground. Junior Dos Santos, we've not seen his ground game. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, big guy, very good hands, doesn't use many kicks, but he only uses like the little Jake Shields kicks where he just like slaps people in the legs. So we've got Frank Mir. Frank Mir, when he's came against bigger fighters like Shane Carwin, Brock Lesnar, Big Nog in the last fight, Shane Carwin scrambled his brains. Brock Lesnar scrambled his brains. Big Nog had him rocked. And Big Nog's not the fastest person in the world anymore. So let's look at Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos, quicker than Shane Carwin, quicker than Big Nog, packs just as much punch as Shane Carwin, and is a lot bigger. A lot bigger. So, me personally, I believe that Frank Mir in this fight is going to get his brains absolutely scrambled first round. He's going to get his face punched into bloody hell. I don't know. Because if you look at the Shane Carwin fight, he gives up really easy. If he gets hit with something, he's like, oh, I want out this fight. Because there was a few times in that fight where he was going to give up, but was like, no, I'll stay in. But nah, I'm going to go with Junior Dos Santos, retaining his title, winning, and absolutely scrambling Frank Mir's brains, because his brains have been scrambled too many times, and he's never going to be the best, but he's always going to be a big name in the heavyweight division. So I'm going to go with Frank Mir getting his ass scrambled, his brain scrambled by Junior Dos Santos. First round. No doubt about it. Yep, so that's it for my UFC predictions. 146, Junior Dos Santos versus Frank Mir. And this is Runner signing out. Peace.